All right, Pudgy Mike, we're here to talk about Lyra Valkaria versus Becky Lynch at Backlash for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Pretty cool historical moment where it's the first time both Intercontinental titles are on the line at a PLE. But what's going on with the Knicks and you, Mike?
Oh, the Knicks. First of all, how are you? How does it feel the 24 hours after suffering that loss with the Celtics?
Well, it's been about 22 hours, but I'm not counting the hours. It's in about 24 hours to the next tip-off. So it's in a few hours, it'll be closer to game 2 than closer to game 1. But yeah, I think we fuck it. Let's just do it now. We're just gonna fucking do it now. All right, we're 45 mysteries. That's not gonna happen again. All right,
No,
you had your heart game. Heart will be a dope and be a little bitch, but you had your heart game and you had your OG game. You ain't gonna get that again. OG ain't going to be the best perimeter player in another game this whole series. So I'm glad you got your one, Celtics in 5.
And I'll stick by that, though. I still don't see us winning the series, but I'll just take it game by game and enjoy whatever I can right now because Boston's they're not coming out like that again in game 2.
Yeah, it just felt like 3 years ago where we had these big lead and we settle and we blow it. It's just like the baby Celtics are back, right? I thought we were kind of past that. But, all kudos to the Knicks. Low-key, I like the Knicks. It's just like I wish we didn't have to run into them here. So whatever. But
it feels like more of an Eastern Conference Finals match than it does the semifinals.
And shit, if the Pacers keep continuing beating up the beat up Cavs, it may be right.
Oh,
so
I'd love revenge on them for last year.
All right, you're gonna win 2 games before you get there. But anyways, we'll talk Knicks at the end. But here I am, just fucking all frustrated. Anyways, we're out. Lyra Valkaria, Becky Lynch. What do you think about the historical moment of the 2 IC titles?
So that's really cool. The women's IC title, honestly, to me, needs to be elevated a little more, and I think Valkyria is doing a great job of having been the first holder of the belt and kind of keeping the train rolling. There was a point where I was interested a little more in the United States title, the women's title, than I was the Intercontinental title because I felt like Chelsea Green was just a little more exciting with her belt than Lyra was. No fault to her. It's just it's what they were doing with Chelsea.
Like a year, about a month older too, right? So a little bit.
So, both belts. That's really sick. WWE just needs to kind of keep elevating these belts, and with this match, they're going to be doing that.
Yeah, no easily. Doubt. 3 mid-card titles on this PLE, right? So there seems to be a focus. I like that Raw new identity is probably going to be the women's division, where SmackDown's identity is going to be the men's tag division. And of course, you have your world titles and your other titles in orbit on those shows, but the identity of the show is going to make sure we have 2 awesome women matches or segments per show. And we're going to make sure we have 2 awesome segment or matches on SmackDown, including the tag team division. So I like that they have turned these shows into identities. And you insert Becky Lynch, put her in the mid card with this title orbiting around her. I think only good things and more prestige is going to happen with this belt. So yeah, I'm optimistic. But Mike, my question for you is, I really liked what they did WrestleMania weekend with Becky Lynch in her return. First of all, Bayley, she was kind of swimming in mediocrity. When she returns, she's going to be much hotter. Lyra, the belt is kind of not on WrestleMania. What is it? But she won this gauntlet to go play for the tag belts, and she's more interesting right now. And then Becky Lynch, mega return, wins the belts, takes 2 bumps, if that, at WrestleMania, takes 1 bump on Raw, all precursors to her turning heels. The man is back, and the bitch is back. And I don't know, all 3 just seem fresher, hotter, and my attention's more grabbing. I dug WrestleMania weekend with all the angles and whatnot.
Yeah, completely agree. I don't want to say that we all didn't see the return coming of Becky Lynch, which we all kind of guessed at the moment. Yeah, you're right. 100% with Bayley. She's kind of in that weird spot now, right? Well, WWE just doesn't know what to do with her. So this was a great spot for Becky to come back and insert herself and get everybody behind her, excited that she's back, team up with her fellow Irish lass, and hopefully you would think that these 2 are going to go dominate the scene for a while, but I'm not appreciating this Becky Hogan nickname that I'm hearing from a lot of people.
You don't appreciate it?
I don't appreciate this Becky Hogan. Yeah, she is earning it, but
I think she's owning it too. I think she's playing into it, right?
She's going to play into it because just like her husband, I think is he's another. Just like I think he had to get rid of that Joker gimmick like 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I think the man gimmick has kind of run its course. It's run its course for a while. So she needs something that's the anti-crowd now, and it's just a great heel turn. It's a great opportunity, and everything they did with her WrestleMania weekend, I agree, spot on.
She still kind of calls herself the man, but it's like in a little bit of a like I'm the shit type of thing, right? Like you don't appreciate me, I'm on a pedestal type of thing, instead of being like I'm the man, I'm one of you, I'm low-key Stone Cold Steve Austin fighting against the authority, right? And rebellion against the bad guys, right? Now she's kind of like, all right, I'm on this pedestal and you should appreciate me because I'm historically the man, pretty much, so on and so forth. So yeah, I'm kind of a low-key big time Beck's defender. I thought it did a lot for the women's division at the time, even though some of her antics were like a little overplayed. It's in like kind of a nice thing to play, like, but I didn't mind big time Beck's.
Yeah, it feels like the horsewomen in general. People just on the general scene of like the casual fan, like the Becky Lynches, the Charlottes, and who is it, Sasha and Bailey. Like they all need Sasha's on her own, whatever she's doing over there in AEW, but Becky definitely needed this. And like you just said, if she grows into this heel character, this is not for Becky, this match. This is for Lyra because she needs it. She needs this rivalry. She needs the popularity of Becky to elevate this title and elevate her. And they haven't made mention of it yet, but I mean, they did have a match, 2 years ago?
Yeah, NXT, I think they alluded to it a little bit. The week after she turned heel, like, I took your NXT title.
Yeah.
You think you're going to take my IC title? I already took your NXT title. Speaking of Lyra, 2 weeks in a row where she's kind of been pretty compelling and had some shit to her on the mic. And honestly, probably it's Becky that brought it out of her, or at least coached her backstage on like to work off my cadence, work on my attitude, work on this, because, you're going to go out there, you're with me, I'm going to make you better. You have to be better if you're going to be with me. Becky takes a lot of pride in her work, right? And of course, I'm sure she cares about Lyra. And I think she's shown that in the past anyway. So, yeah, Lyra's definitely upped her game from a promo standpoint.
Yeah, and she's keeping up spot on. She's getting the crowd reactions that are necessary. There's not that lull in the crowd, when she speaks, when it's kind of you hear those murmurs sometimes when like 2019 Naomi was getting when she would speak on the microphone and everybody's like, all right, what are we doing?
Crickets,
no, she's keeping up, and this is one of the main ones I'm actually interested in, this match.
All right, Bailey, right? She's kind of the orbit here, or the sacrificial lamb of this feud. Maybe we'll see her this night at Backlash. Probably not, but you never know. If they wanted to keep the belt on Lyra, it's kind of a cute way for her to distract Becky, cost Becky, whatever. But I will say I'm anticipating her more than I was leading in. So that angle definitely worked. And Bailey did some good work with the gauntlet match with Lyra. And then the match on Raw before that was an excellent Intercontinental title match with Lyra. Lyra has a nice little low-key resume within her Intercontinental title run too there. I think she'll be looked back fondly as champ. But overall, what's your feeling or temperature on Bailey?
Yeah, like I said before too, Bailey kind of, I think, found herself in that lull where, to me, when I look at the people they dipped down into NXT, like she had a great rivalry with Cora before she was unfortunately let go. Sometimes I just in my head I look at the NXT as the minor leagues. I shouldn't do that, but I feel like when they send you down there to do things, it's because they don't have anything for you up in the main roster, which is it's not a bad thing, and I've come to grips with that.
Yeah,
it's not a bad thing. It's just you're getting guys down there or girls down there to do a run with somebody. Becky did it. A lot of guys have done it. And, Bailey, do you think there's a 50-50 shot Bailey sides with either of these two at Backlash?
I think there's that respect that was earned with Lyra and Bailey. They did come together for that gauntlet, so they have that history. And Bailey did put her to test in that title match. So maybe I think there's an underlining of respect for Lyra with Bailey. I could see them becoming a tag team after inevitably, I think Lynch wins the title at Backlash or sometime after it. I could see them kind of coming together for a tag title run or something. So
yeah,
that would definitely make sense. We talked horsewomen. You have to see what Becky said about Sasha with you get if you pay $100, you could text your friend Sasha or whatever.
Yeah, that was really
great shot.
Actually, it's one of those. Yeah, it's one of those that actually gave me a good reaction when I saw it.
Yeah, I think Sam wasn't ready for it. He had like a visceral, like, oh man, that was.
She's not wrong.
Good shit there. All right, we're here at the end. I'm gonna go with my gut, Becky Lynch. I think Becky wins the title, and maybe we get Bayley, and it will like backfire. But I don't think we'll get Bayley yet. I think we get Bayley a little bit into Becky's run, and I think that Lyra is going to be all right after coming out of this as well. I think Becky will probably set her up to be totally fine, but I think it's Becky's time. I don't think it's a home run though. What say you? Who do you picking?
I'm gonna go Becky. Lyra could win this match, and then I don't know where they would go after this. Like, maybe would Becky demand another rematch? Even though Lyra would be now beating her for the Intercontinental title that she already has, plus the NXT Women's title.
Probably go her into something, yeah.
So if Becky wins the match, this sets up maybe like a 2-3 month program of possibly a Saturday night main event type.
They got Evolution, Saturday night's main event, Saudi. They got a lot of stuff coming up. So
this could even main event Evolution and have Lyra win the title back. Not main event Evolution, but be close to the main event at Evolution and have her maybe win the title back. Let Becky have a good run with the Intercontinental title for a couple months and kind of take it from there. But Becky, there's more to gain for Lyra if Becky wins, Lyra wins down the road again. Then I think Lyra just retaining and moving on to the next matchup.
Yeah. See, even though it's a babyface gimmick, I think that this belt could use like a 2015 Cena Open Challenge with Becky at the helm for the Intercontinental title. Just every week on Raw, especially with how much focus they have on this women's division on Raw. Becky just kind of rolling the ball out, be like, all right, who's up this week? And she just knocked down challenges until she finally makes someone. Well, that would be a great way for Bayley to kind of return and win the belt, 4, 5, 6 weeks into that Open Challenge. I don't know. I kind of like that gimmick.
That'd be a good idea. And plus, I don't know what they're doing with Becky in terms of the new Evolution. I don't know if she's going to join at any point.
Oh, with Seth and Paul?
But cool. She could kind of get her kicks. She can maybe, like you said, she could even mention Cena with the U.S. title. Say something like, listen, a great man like John, because they'll both be heels. She could boost them up. Great man like John Cena elevated that title. So I'm going to do the same thing with this title. Let's start the Open Challenge. That's a great idea.
Even though she's a heel, it would still play into the perception of her being like, I'm the man, cheer me, even though she elicits boos. Kind of like how the tone that she had earlier we were talking about. But all right, Becky Lynch is your winner. You heard it here first, and Celtics in 5.
It's Knicks in 7 now.
Mike, thanks, buddy. Pudgy Boy Sports. Go check them out, guys.
Thank you.